What's good, gang? How we doing? Welcome in to episode 2, was supposed to be episode 1 of the VTice Podcast. Good to see y'all. How's everybody doing, man? Happy, at time of recording, it's actually Thursday. I apologize, this podcast is getting out to you guys late. That is 100% on me. I was not feeling the best earlier in the week. And also, I'm finishing up my hell week for work. And it was just too much for me to do. I really should say hell weeks, because it's kind of last week and this week. And it just takes up all my time. My stream schedule's been all jacked up, and I apologize for that in advance. But, so I'll be posting this one on Friday, which a couple of you guys asked for it to be posted on Fridays. So, we will, we'll see if you guys like this more, if you prefer Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, whenever. We're still kind of finding our footing here a little bit. But, yeah, no, welcome in, though. I really appreciate it. You're probably wondering what's on the screen. Well, I'll tell you. I thought we'd kind of go in reverse order, because I figured people would care more about what's at the end, being the viewer questions, as well as the clip of the week. So, I thought we'd just get that out of the way, then those of you who don't care what I'm going to rant about today, you guys can move on with your day. So there you go. Win-win for everybody. So I'm going to play this clip for you first, let you guys watch it through, then we'll kind of break it down a little bit here. So this clip is from, it's called the Mountain of Hell Race. And I don't know where it is, but they do this every size because they're doing things that I could never do. And I will show you what it kind of looks like from their point of view. It's actually very cool. I've watched a number of these clips. So obviously, I don't think this is the same course because those people filming were at like a ski resort or something. They were in some building watching it. But yeah, it's just, there's a certain level of psychopath you have to be, coupled with, like, a phenomenal athlete, too, because they ride. I don't know how far the race actually is, but it is pretty impressive. So kudos to them, but that's the risk you run, and the rest of us make fun of you on a podcast. But this will get like 10, 20 views, so we're not overly concerned about that. But yeah, I just thought it was absolutely worth sharing. Absolutely worth sharing. I can't get over the impacts in that first one. Still. Alright, I'll switch you guys over on the screen here. Yeah, but thank you for being in. I had to get Yugs on the first one. Yugi601, shout out to him again. He crushed it. He was absolutely awesome guest to have on here. So I do have some Call of Duty footage for you guys. Yeah, this is how I want it. Just me playing with some buddies from not too long ago, so nothing too crazy. I did put my better games first. I'll be the first one to admit. You're not going to be overly impressed with my gameplay, by the way. But yeah, no, I hope everyone's having a great week. Like I said, it's Thursday at the time of recording. Going to post this to be for tomorrow, Friday. I hope, at least. I hope. I hope the music's okay, not too loud. I hope my mic is turned on. It is. I hope we're recording. We are. Very nice. So, real quick, before I get to too much of the gameplay, I just wanted to, well, I got to show you guys the clip, right? Oh, I missed it. Never mind. It's irrelevant. Oh, sorry. Rule 1 of the podcast. We never talk about the gameplay. I just broke rule 1. So, I did ask you guys, I created a Discord chat for you guys to post in our Discord channel to post questions and topics. I didn't at everyone because I think that's like, is that not a D-bag thing to do? Or is that just me? Like, I didn't want to at you guys and ping you at whatever time I posted this or whenever. Like, to run the risk of, like, interrupting your guys' day. So I don't know if you guys even know that this is here, so I didn't want to share that. We have a tab, podcast topics, questions. You guys can put literally anything in here. And I'll pull it up on the podcast each week, and I'll go through them. So, yeah, so I took the time to type out this super nice message. Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to say, hey, you can post this in here. I'll read them off. And of course, Josh, of all people, comes in. Josh comes in and hits me with the, hey, why don't you talk about USC being better than Ohio State? Well, Josh, let's talk about it. You guys lost to Tulane. We lost to Georgia. And I'm still upset about that one, for the record. I don't want to talk about it. I have that written down on my topics, the OSU Georgia game. I don't know how much I'm going to go into that today, though. And then Shy said we could do an animals featuring Shy comment. Shy, I don't know what your qualifications are to talk about animals. I mean, you have a bearded dragon and like a 10-foot snake. And like some dogs. So you are more qualified than me, but it's not really saying much. But yeah, Shy, we can get you on. We'll talk about animals. I have plenty of questions for you. So there's from our Discord. Then we also have some from a YouTube post. Oh, now I'm not going to be able to find it. This is how this is going to go. Gosh dang it. I didn't want to have to edit anything. Oh, I don't have to. Nice. I did have it pulled up. Very good. So then I created a post. Me and my niece / my sister's dog walking in the mountains. Hey, some of your guys' questions, and you guys came through, and I appreciate that. Peach comes in hot first with, Shy responds to it. Peach coming in hot with the doggo has little shoes on. Yes, Carmen does. She had little booties on, because she's very spoiled. My sister spoils her, so my sister made sure, but hey, if you're going to take her on a walk, make sure you put the boots on her. I don't want to talk about it. That was not my call, for the record. Hey, speaking of Yugi. Yugi came in. I think a good topic might be favorite video games to play off stream, or favorite board games, party games you enjoy. Also, what's one animal you think you could beat in a fight? That's a hard-hitting question, Yugs. I respect that and I appreciate it. Okay, so first of all, Happy New Year to you, Yugs. This was only 2 weeks ago and I'm just now getting to this. Favorite video games to play off stream? Probably Halo Infinite right now, as well as Call of Duty. I enjoy Search and Destroy with my buddies whenever I can play. I play a lot of Among Us with my buddies also. I'm hoping to put that more on stream in the coming future. Favorite board games, easily Ticket to Ride. Easily Ticket to Ride. However, for card games, I'm also a big fan of Euchre, and I think that's more Midwest. So my Ohio crew and my Midwest crew probably know what I'm talking about. A lot of you other ones, you may not have even heard of Euchre. It's a lot of fun, though. It's a card game you play. It's very hard to learn, but it's a lot of fun. In terms of an animal that I could beat in a fight, well, I could beat, like any small dog. I could just stomp and beat them in a fight easily. I could absolutely destroy a bullfrog in a fight. That's an easy one. Very small snakes I could stomp out. I don't know if I get a weapon or not. Fish. I could beat fish in a fight. Unless I'm in their element, then it gets a little bit tricky depending on what fish we're talking about. I'm not going to mess with piranhas. So yeah, I'd go with those Yugs. Anything small that could fit underneath my boot, I'd have a pretty good chance of taking. Couldn't take a kangaroo. Certainly couldn't take a bear. Would lose to a, dolphin or a shark or something. Or a whale. So yeah, Yugs, I'd probably just go with the smaller ones. Valid question, though. Really valid question. Yeah. And maybe like a, what the heck are those things called? A porcupine? I could probably beat a porcupine if I have like a sturdy pair of boots on where the quills wouldn't get me. That'd be no problem. So, thanks Cam. Gonna have Cameron Gaming on at some point. And then Couch comes in with the cheap shot. Nice. On the podcast, you should talk about how much we like Sweet Thieves. I hate Sweet Thieves. Sweet Thieves is trash. I already know who the responses are. Shy comes in with the troll saying agreed. Coach 4-star, we'll also have him. I think he's going to be the next guest on the podcast. But Coach comes in with couldn't agree more. Now, Coach is with me, and most of you are, that Sweet Thieves sucks in custom games. Where me and Coach divide ourselves is Coach swears behind it in public lobbies. I think it still sucks in pubs. I don't think it's a fun game. I think it gets very boring very quickly, and I'm too scarred from being trolled by you guys in Sweet Thieves, in custom games. Dude, I mean, we were doing it where it was you'd have 40 to 60 people in it, and it was ass, dude. It was trash. It sucked. So it just ruined it for good for me. Josh, appreciate it. Finishes the goat. Oh, Shy comes in again. Animals featuring Shy and Chonk. Yeah, we should get Chonk on at some point, though. The bearded dragon himself. Everyone just gassing up Carmen. And that looks like it's probably it from the YouTube gang. And then I will get you back to the Call of Duty content. Here are the gameplay. Broke rule number 1 again. Then I also had a couple written down that I get asked fairly often. I have some of these written down here. So, yeah, so a lot of people like to ask. You guys notice the Ohio flag here. I do want to point out this is actually a pennant. It's the only United States flag out of all 50 that is not actually a flag. It's the only pennant. So, if you're not from Ohio and you enjoy dunking on us, you can put that in your pipe and smoke it. One common question that I do get a lot is, why'd you leave Ohio? Which is a good question. It was actually very hard to do, to be perfectly honest with you. I have, my best friends are in Ohio, family's in Ohio. My sister was already out in Colorado. I had came and visited a number of times. I live in Colorado now, for any of you that don't know that. And I just always really enjoyed it out here. I also just, at a certain point, I just wanted to get out and see new areas. I'm a physical therapist is what I do for my day job. I did travel physical therapy for a while. Sorry, I have a DoorDash coming, and the Dasher just messaged me saying to turn on my outdoor lights. I don't want to be a jerk, but I'm not going to do that. By the way, I'm fairly certain they are on. What, you think I'm going to jump him? Just give me my Chipotle and get out of here. I want it for free. I already paid for it. I'm not going to do anything to the guy. Anyways, I'll back up. So yeah, it was a very tough decision to leave. So I did travel physical therapy for a while. I did a short stint in Colorado, Southwest Colorado. Did a stint in Minnesota, and then I had Hawaii. Let me make sure I get the order right. I had Hawaii and Alaska lined up, and then I think Seattle, Washington. I was at least in the works for it. I don't know if I ever had that contract under wraps, and then COVID hit. So at that point, I was kind of scrambling, trying to find a job. And COVID hit, canceled all assignments, canceled all, travel assignments that I had. So ended up just finding a job here in Colorado. Loved it. And just, stayed put here. My sister has since had a nephew, so now my nephew's here in Colorado as well. So I also stay here for that as well. But I go back home fairly often, so it's a long-winded answer to just say work, I guess, for lack of better reasons. Why did I start streaming? Another good question. So when I had graduated from PT school, I remember, and you guys, he'll be on the podcast, my best friend from back home, I call him my agent/manager, even though he doesn't do anything. Not a cheap shot at him, he just doesn't do anything because I don't need an agent or a manager. But he's like my best friend at home. I had a lot of talks with him where I can remember I was just working, doing my thing, enjoying life, gaming with some buddies and stuff, and I always had the thought of, this is it. Like, I kind of need something to keep my mind busy outside of work. And just mindless video games wasn't quite it, although I still love doing that. With the mindless video games, I still enjoy, just gaming off stream and everything. But so I had contemplated going back to med school for a little while, to be perfectly honest with you. Ended up deciding for a number of different reasons, the time commitment, the expenses. I'm not smart enough to be an MD, and I wouldn't pretend to be. So I think after taking a realistic look, that just wasn't the move for me. So ultimately, then I was like, well, streaming, creating videos. And to be honest, it started out with creating videos. I thought would just be kind of a fun hobby. Fell in love with it. Absolutely loved it. And then down the road, ended up picking up streaming, and then so on and so forth. My favorite game. So we'll say favorite game of all time is probably Halo 3. Spyro the Dragon series, for any of the old people in here, on the original PlayStation 1, holds a special spot in my heart. Because that was like the first game I got hooked on and just absolutely had to play it when the next one came out. I absolutely love that, which I know a lot of you probably don't even know what that is, to be honest with you at this point. But it would be, so Spyro the Dragon gets kind of like an honorable mention, but I would go with, it's not full screen. Oh, okay, it is. I'd go with Halo 3 as my favorite game of all time. Favorite console of all time. You can see I'm starting to work on my collection. Coach 4-Star is saying, he may have already sent it. He sent me a PlayStation 2. I'm trying to build a little bit of a display for all the game consoles I've had. So you see the original Xbox up there. Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64, GameCube. I gotta get the Wii up there. Xbox 360, and Xbox One. And then the PlayStation 2, which Coach is sending me. He's sending me one autograph, too, and I'm absolutely juiced for it. I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. Hey VTice, why is your thumbnail always you drinking coffee? Simple. Valid question, but it's a simple answer. I have a shitty smile, and I didn't want to put myself smiling on there, so I just started drinking out of a coffee cup. I used it a couple of times, and just stuck with it. And at this point, it's just kind of like a meme, I suppose, at this point, to be honest with you. VTice, do you got any tips for new creators for us? Good question. The biggest mistake I made out of the gate, it depends on what you're after. If you're going to do it as just a hobby, which is still kind of my mindset at the same time, is let's see where this goes as well. And I could see myself taking it a little bit more serious in time. But the tips that I have, if you're doing it as a hobby, just have fun with it. Do whatever you want. I don't care what you do. You know, if it's just for fun, if it's just for a hobby, then just have fun with it. That's the only tip I could do is, if it doesn't make you happy, don't do it, quite simply. Now, for those of you that want to get into content creation and take it more serious, you know, it's where do we even start, right? I think a good starting spot when you're very early on, my biggest tip from the mistakes that I made was I had an issue where I struggled with being able to turn it off. So, you know, you're staying up late, you have your phone on you, you're in the notepad, and you're just writing down every idea that comes to mind, which is great. That's awesome that you're passionate about it. At the same time, your school, your work, your family, your friends, those come first. And a mistake that I made was I tried to come out of the gate at 100 miles per hour when I think 20 miles per hour would have been a little bit warmer, to be honest with you. I tried doing like a challenge. I post one video every single day for as long as I can. And I don't know how long I went for, but I went for longer than I should have. And these weren't like shorts. These were VODs. I mean, these were long videos, a long time to edit. I wasn't hanging out with friends. You know, it was just impacting, you know, gaming with friends. Whatever the case may be. I would start with one video a month, and once that's tolerable, 2 videos a month. And then if that's tolerable for you in your schedule, 4 videos a month. So 1 video a week, right? And then you can just kind of keep on building from there. You get quicker at editing. You get better talking to the camera. I'm still not great talking to the camera, as you all know. I trail off quite often. But I just think it's easy. Less is more when you first start out. And you learn a new skill every single week, every single month. Learn an editing trick. Make each video 1% better, right? Make an intro to your videos now. Add some editing special effects. Be better about your ums and your uhs, which I know I've not done a great job about up to this point, and I apologize about that. I'm still working on that one. That's a tough one for me, but I am trying to get better at it. So I would just say different things like that. You know, it's one thing, if you're going to play with friends, you can still stream it, and you may get 0 viewers. I streamed to my buddy back home. I don't know if I said his name earlier. I'm going to try not to say it. If I did, I apologize to you. If not, because he may want to stay incognito if he ever does, because I'll have him on the podcast as well, and he'll be a blast on there. I've actually started a podcast with him, but just because I've just been super busy, it's 100% my fault. Haven't been able to keep it going as much as we'd like, but that's a little bit of a sidetrack. I forget where I was even going with that point. So 1% better each video. Don't come out of the gates too hot. Less is more. You can always add more as you go. It's like a haircut, right? If you shave off your entire head and you wish you just went with a shorter haircut, then you're pissed. And there's no putting it back on, right? So, let's see here. Other questions. Biggest mistake you made creating content? Yeah, coming out of the gate too hot. That's by far the biggest mistake. You get burned out. You kind of lose the love for what's a hobby when you first start out. No one ever starts a YouTube channel as a professional YouTuber, right? You got to build up to that. Don't come out of the gates too hot. Favorite and least favorite parts of streaming. My favorite part of streaming is the community, without question. I love getting to go live, hanging out, asking how everyone's doing. Josh, how's the basketball game going? Or how's the basketball season going, brother? How are you? Different things like that. Chino, nice. 4 touchdowns tonight. Very good. I love catching up with you guys. I love getting to go live. And it doesn't matter if there's 2 people in that stream or if there's 100. You know what I mean? And I certainly don't get to 100, but it doesn't matter if there's 2 or 22, 2 or 42, right? It doesn't matter. just getting to hang out and talk to people while you game and just have fun is just an absolute blast to me. It's by far the community is my favorite part. I thoroughly enjoy that. I never wanted to stream. Never had strong plans to stream. I just thought I was always going to make videos. Didn't quite take off. Gave streaming a try. Met Lucid on there, and then the rest is kind of history. Then just kind of slowly grew from there. Least favorite part of streaming, when I have weeks like this one. So I have my back-to-back Hell Weeks. So we're finishing up week 2 of Hell Week. And you feel like you let everyone down because you're not streaming. Or you're not pumping out videos. I think that's a big one. Is all of a sudden you have people that want to come in and they, like, not just to me, but they want to talk to each other. And now 2 people can't connect because you haven't streamed all week, you know? And you haven't maintained your schedule like you said you would, but sometimes life gets in the way, and the community is great about understanding that, and I greatly appreciate you guys for that. But yeah, that's probably a big one, is now you have some added responsibility to, you know, keep going live, even though some days are better than others, and sometimes you just don't have time to, and you let people down. So that's a big one. Other than that, least favorite part of streaming, I really don't have one. I love getting to meet other content creators, do collabs, have them on the podcast, things like that. That's an absolute blast to me. So I would probably say the biggest negative is just the responsibilities that them come with it. And if you don't follow through on said responsibilities, you let the community down. I think Peach asked this one. She was just kind of asking for tips on time management. So I routinely, I'm not great at time management. I'm not. I'm a very type B in the sense of when my day starts, I know what I have to do for work. And after work is quite literally, well, I'll see where the day takes me. Right? Which is great. Nothing wrong with that. Right up until you have a ton of things that have to get done, you now have to manage your work or your school schedule along with streaming. And it's not always that easy to balance. So what I do, and I tried looking for them. I can't find the examples I have. So what I did was I just told myself to stop being a lazy piece of shit and stick to the schedule. And I quite literally, on notebook paper, Monday through Sunday, I wrote out my schedule. 5:30 a.m., wake up. 6 a.m., you're at the gym, get your workout in. You know, whatever. 7:30, 8, leave for my first patient. Go see my second patient. Okay, I have a little bit of break between patient 1 and patient 2. Get some of my paperwork done. So on and so forth, all the way up till 6 o'clock. Start the stream. 9 o'clock, end the stream. 9:30, in bed, lights out, right? So different things like that to try to help manage my time. And it's actually worked because it takes the thinking out of it for me, which is always good when I stop thinking. And it just allows me just to follow the schedule. Now, sometimes it gets a little bit crazy where I need more time for work. Or, you know, social life, something comes up. But I do think it's been, for the most part, very beneficial. I write my schedule out. That'd be a big tip that I could give. I think another tip would probably be give yourself more time than you need. So, for instance, if you leave school at, 3 o'clock, and then you tell everyone your stream's going to start at 3:30 because it usually takes you 20 minutes to get home and then get set up. You don't know what's going to go wrong. So I would recommend allot yourself more time. So say stream starts at 3:45, stream starts at 4. That way you can be on earlier. You can be. However, it still gives you some freedom if something happens, if you have some commitments when you get home. By the way, I'm going to break rule number 1 again. And I apologize. I apologize for these names. Call of Duty, at the time of this recording, they had a glitch where, like, the team you play first, their names just stayed on your screen. And they are such unfortunate names to have on here. You've probably already noticed that by now, and I apologize in advance. It was such unfortunate names to have on there, and I apologize for that. All right, I'm done breaking rule number 1. But yes, that's what I would say for time management. Last question I have on here. What's the scope of the podcast? I think that's a great question. I don't know. You know, when I first started, I thought it'd be cool to do a podcast where we try to help smaller creators, give them tips and tricks, things we've learned, have other creators who have reached a certain level of success, however you judge that, however you gauge it. Thought it'd be cool to have them on, get some of their thoughts, and that's what it will be when other creators are on here, because every creator has a ton to share, and a ton that they can really help us with, and just in terms of sharing their insights. And no 2 creators make it the same way. You know, they may have started on different games, different platforms, They start on the same games, the same platforms, but they use different strategies to get to where they are. So that'll be a big one when we have other creators on. I think it's also cool to let viewers get to see a different side of me on stream, where I get to just talk, a different side of me than what they normally get to on stream, as well as those other creators. Now, obviously, we won't have a creator on doing it with me every single podcast episode. So for the ones where it's us, answer all your questions, try to fire up a clip of the week, and then whatever's going on, I'll just rant about. So like I said, give me topics. They do not have to be content creation related. I mean, Yugs literally said, what animal could you beat in a fight? That's a great one, right? So it might just be me ranting, and maybe me actually dropping something helpful for you, but I hope it's entertaining nonetheless. I do. So if I was to nail down a definitive scope of this podcast, I still don't know. Maybe it'll blossom into something that I haven't even considered up to this point. We'll see. So, okay. Clip of the week. Check. Viewer questions. Check. Paper. YouTube post. Discord. Check. Okay, we're gonna get into the topics here. I am gonna run down because my DoorDash did arrive and it is very cold out. I'm gonna run downstairs, get my DoorDash. I will be right back. Okay, and we are back. Sorry about that. I'm gonna try to do most of these in one take. I don't know how often that'll actually happen though, because I'm gonna screw up a ton. But, so, like I said earlier, happy January to you guys, by the way. I'm recording this a little bit late for this one, but yeah, at the time of recording, it is January 19th, 2023. So, I'm curious if any of you guys had any New Year's resolutions. I have a couple both in my personal life as well as for the YouTube channel. I may get into those a little bit down the road, but I'm still trying to kind of work through them, and I already broke a couple of them, one of which being one podcast per week. We're now going to be going on about a week and a half, but it is what it is. I'm still going to count it like a Monday to Sunday week. Monday to Sunday, we did meet the technical qualifications, but it's also kind of like the lazy way out, and I apologize for that. So, I also, one of the personal ones, I got to shed a little bit of weight as well. I'm not overly pumped about where my weight is right now, so I'm going to try to drop a couple LBs here as well. We'll drop that body fat percentage down a little bit as I just DoorDashed in food tonight, but it's Hell Week, so we'll give ourselves a little bit of a pass, right? I tell you what, at our gym, I'm curious for those of you that do go to the gym and you go work out, if your gyms are always super crowded come early January, ours was slammed. And the worst part of it all was I moved into this house January 1st a year ago. It was 2 years ago. It was a year ago. January 1st of 2022 it would have been. So I got my gym membership like a day or two after. So now I'm one of those guys that I have to renew my membership because I just get the full year. So then I have to renew it January the following year. So I just like stand in line with like all the newcomers. I don't want to sit here and bash newcomers, for the record. I'm glad to have you guys in here. They're all great additions, but man, some of them they just do my pet peeves in the gym that I wish nobody would. Not always like the easiest obvious ones that everyone thinks about is like not racking your weight. I can actually live with that. I don't love it. I wish you would rack your weight, but at the same time I can live with it. The one that gets me the most, that just drives me absolutely bonkers every time somebody does it, and it just makes me lose my shit every single time, is when you go to a machine, you sit on said machine, and then you're like checking social media. I think that is so frustrating whenever I see somebody doing that, especially like if it's a machine you want to get on. So if I was just like go over to the bicep curls, and then I proceed to sit there and scroll through like my TikTok or Instagram or something, and then somebody's like waiting for you, but you're just sitting there on your phone. That one drives me absolutely mad every single time it happens. That one that's happened a couple of times. I don't know if they're new people or not, because sometimes my gym schedule kind of fluctuates. And it's a little bit of a bummer when it's super crowded, but at the same time, you get to meet new people and talk to them, and I appreciate it. And there's like a certain gym culture respect thing there, where happy to have you in here, let's go to work, man. Because I mean, they're also coming in just to try to better themselves also, so I got no judgments there. But yeah, the big one for me is when you're sitting on your phone. And for those of you that go to the gym, I've had this debate with my dad for, God, going on, dude, probably like a decade and a half. Is it a party foul in the gym to superset? So for instance, here's what I would do, and he would always yell at me for it. So let's say if I'm supersetting, I don't know, let's say shoulders and triceps, for instance. So if I'm on like the tricep pull down machine, I set my water bottle down there, and then I go and I do, dumbbell, lateral flies or something, right? Something like that. So according to my dad, that's a serious party foul, and I'm a D-bag for doing that. My argument is, number one, I'm working out and I'm exercising. A ton of people do it. I don't think it's a party foul. Two, I don't do it if the gym's super crowded. You know what I mean? And I also pick and choose my machines wisely. I'm not like supersetting in like, if like the gym has like 2 or 3 squat racks, I'm not supersetting squats with something else. I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna do my squats, I'm gonna get out. I'll get out of your way so you can have the squat rack, which is another pet peeve. Because some of you guys, and you know who you are, you like to command the squat rack for your entire workout. So we'll go like squats, lunges, deadlifts in the same rack. And then you're also going to hit me with like bicep curls. And you're going to do like 10 variations of squats. And your entire hour and a half workout, you hog that squat rack. That one bothers me too. And half the time, EMFers that are doing it, you're doing like strength sets or like power sets. So your rest time in between is like 5 minutes per lift, per set. It drives me crazy. Not as much as those of you that sit on the phone. When you like sit on the machine just like hanging out on your phone. That one drives me absolutely insane. There's my rant for the day. By the way, what's the scope of this podcast? I still don't know. I might just be ranting about different things at all times. So, but all that to say is I don't think supersetting's a party foul, and I'll stand behind that. I will stand behind that. NFL playoffs are upon us. Hopefully your guys' teams are still in. If not, my condolences. I'm a Browns fan, so actually I mean, you're not going to get any sympathy from me. We've been trashed my entire life. I was telling Hughes this on the podcast the other day, if anyone missed it. And I can remember, like, friends' grandparents as well as mine saying to themselves, I just want to see the Browns win a Super Bowl before I die. And I used to laugh and just think that's, like, so ridiculous. I get it now, though. I get it. Because I kind of feel the exact same way. I want to see the Browns win a Super Bowl before I die. And my clock is ticking, to be perfectly honest. So I don't know. I don't see one in sight anytime soon. But, man, I hope we get there. Man, I hope we get there one of these days, because I'm going to be insufferable on stream or on the podcast if the Browns are ever actually relevant. But I think you guys are going to be safe. I don't think we have to worry about that. I mentioned it earlier. I don't want to talk about it. My pride and joy is Ohio State, and I am still crushed and heartbroken. By the way, Josh, did I say this earlier? Didn't you guys lose to Tulane in your bowl game? So I don't know why you're talking shit to me about us losing to Georgia by 1. It was so heartbreaking, especially to see Georgia beat TCU by like 500 points. I think the final score was like 65-7. That should have been us. We should have won that game, and that would have been us, and we would have been celebrating a championship right now. I'd probably still be intoxicated from that championship, and it bothers me that we didn't get home on that. It absolutely bothers me. Yeah, it just absolutely crushes my soul. So I think we'll have a decent team next year. We got to see what we're going to do about quarterback, but we'll get to that as we get a little bit closer. So going back to NFL playoffs, who we have left? We have Bills versus the Bengals, Chiefs versus the Jaguars, Dallas at San Francisco. What's the other one? Oh, Eagles and Giants. I got to go with Eagles over the Giants. Pretty easy. I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. I love Jalen Hurts. He's such a good dude and everything, and he's just an absolute gamer. Plus, I always like the guy that they count out, where it's just like, well, I don't know why we would take him in the second round. That seemed like a little bit of a reach. He's more of like a running back under center. Not true. The dude can game. He's a baller. So I'm rooting for Jalen Hurts. I don't know who I'm rooting for the rest of the year. I like Josh Allen as well. I like Mahomes. The issue with Patrick Mahomes is that his wife and what is it? I almost said his son, his brother are just so insufferable. They've been better this year. I haven't seen really any outbursts. He must have taken them off to the side and had a talk with him about, hey, by the way, I'm the only one in this family that actually fucking does something. So maybe you guys just like, keep it calm. You don't have to like spray champagne over fans out of our like press box or our like sweet seats. You don't have to do TikToks on logos. Younger brother, I can't remember the kid's name, but they have been quieter this year, so I will give them that. But I am a Mahomes fan. So yeah, I would take the Buffalo Cincinnati's the toughest one. Joey B, also from Ohio. You gotta love that. Big Joey B fan as well. That one, I'd probably root for whoever wins that game between Buffalo and Cincinnati. But with a contingency on the Eagles as well, just because I'm such a big Jalen Hurts fan. Could you guys imagine, though, if we have Buffalo versus Philadelphia with those two fan bases, just the most, like, rabid fan bases, just absolutely out of their mind, insane fan bases in the Super Bowl? That'd be fun to see. You got Eagles fans just launching snowballs at, like, people doing, like, charity work and, like, Santa and everything. Then you got the Buffalo fans just slamming everyone through tables. Probably Santa, too. Slamming him through like a table and everything. America may just burn down at that point, which I'd be here for it. I'd love to watch that. That'd be a fun one. Plus, I'd like to see Buffalo get over the hump after like in the mid to late 90s when they had the 4 straight Super Bowl losses, which would just be brutal as a fan. That's a question for you guys. Would you rather make it to 4 straight Super Bowls and lose, or not make it to any of them? I don't know. I think I'd probably I would rather not make it to any of them, to be perfectly honest with you. That's how trash it would be losing 4 straight. Because like after 1, after 2, you're just thinking to yourself, like, I don't know how much more of this I can take. The 3rd one, you have so much hope. Come on, baby, let this be the one. Let this be the one. Lose again. And then the 4th one, the same thing, just amplified that much more. That'd be absolutely brutal to be a Bills fan in the late 90s. Absolutely brutal. So, what are the other games? Give me San Francisco over Dallas. San Francisco's defense is too good. So I'd have San Francisco and Philadelphia on the NFC side. AFC, I'm going to take the Chiefs just to rout the Jaguars. I don't see the Jaguars being able to put up much of a fight. Although they're kind of a fun team to root for just because they're kind of the big sleeper. Them and the Giants, I suppose. And then, so yeah, give me Chiefs over Jaguars. What was the last one? Oh, Buffalo, Cincinnati. It's in Buffalo. Josh Allen's got to watch the interceptions, but he still is that dude. Give me Josh Allen in this one. I'm a big believer in Josh Allen, but I mean, Cincinnati could win it all, to be perfectly honest with you. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Cincinnati wins that one. Okay, last 2 topics I got for you guys here. Like I said, this is going to be a quicker one, and I apologize for that. I'm going to shoot for it to be around an hour, especially if I'm solo, just because I don't want to waste too much of your guys' time, and I'm going to be talking about nothing. Most of you probably clicked up. If you're still watching, thank you so much. I don't understand the kids' lingo nowadays. So, for instance, here's the most recent one that I've heard, and I don't get it. If somebody could explain it to me, I would very much appreciate it. What do people mean on social media? The newest one is, I don't even know like what the context is because I feel like they use it every chance they get. But Waffle House has a new host. What does that even mean? Like when I hear like host, I think of like a. So, like in that case, you'd be talking about Waffle House like it's a parasite and it found a new host. I don't understand that. Then I was like, well, do they mean like host and hostess? So it's just like you're insulting someone, I'm guessing, by saying that they're the new host or hostess at Waffle House. I don't get that one at all. I haven't been on stream to ask you guys about that. I'm sure I will, but yeah, if you could, let me know. I don't get that one whatsoever. I know Waffle House has been in the news just because, which I thought this was always the case. I just thought everyone knew this already, but Waffle House is known for fights at like 3 a.m., but that's the first time I've ever had Waffle House. It's like 3 a.m., and I'm highly intoxicated at the same time, so it just makes sense to me that, yeah, of course there's going to be fights there. It's just like you took all the degenerates at the bar, they get kicked out at 2 a.m. and you sit them to Waffle House, of course there's going to be fighting. What do you think is going to happen? So I don't get that one whatsoever. The one that like makes me feel like an old man on my rocking chair, like get off my lawn, I don't understand, and I adamantly disagree with ION. ION. You're using ION like it's a contraction for I don't. So why don't you just say I don't? Like, I don't get why we shortened that to ION. It's not even shortened it that much. I don't think it saves you that much time. By the time you say it to the wrong person, like me, who's over the age of, like, I don't know, 22 or something, by the time you explain it to us, you just wasted time, to be perfectly honest with you. But I guess if you're saying it to each other, yeah, but like to use it in a sense, they'd be like, ION even want to go over there. ION even want to go to the Waffle House. For like, I don't even want to go to the Waffle House. I don't get it. Why? Not why don't you go to the Waffle House? I get that. Unless you're intoxicated at 3 a.m. But I don't get why you're using ION. That just seems like I don't know. I don't get it. It kind of bothers me. That one kind of actually makes me mad a little bit. So we're gonna move on before I get too pissed and just start insulting all you guys. But I disagree with your generation, as Yugi would say. I think Yugi said it best. Supposedly, the kids coming up right now are Generation Alpha. So whenever Yugi types it out, he goes Generation parentheses anything but Alpha, which is a gnarly slam on you guys if you fit into that category. So I apologize in advance, but I love that. I think that's hilarious. He's already giving me permission to steal it too, but I'm still gonna give him credit whenever I remember to. Bussin'. I don't get what I think bussin' means good. But yeah, that burger I just had was bussin', man. I don't even want the chicken. You know what? It's just like I'm just like, what? So I think bussin' just means like good. Which I can get behind bussin'. Bussin' sounds cool. It rolls off the tongue well. So I'll give you guys that one. But just know that I still disagree with the ION. And then the other one, and we've talked about this on stream before, is so you would name two people, like in your high school and your junior high, or like celebrities, and you'd be like, yeah, I'm totally shipping them. And my understanding is that it translates to, like, I'm putting them in a relationship, essentially. So if I was just like, yeah, I'm totally shipping VTice and Ariana Grande. Here we go. See, now we're talking. Now all of a sudden I like it. I'm coming around to it. Anyways, it just means like, yeah, I'm like I want them to date, or like I'm already calling it that they are gonna date. I'm not sure which one it is. If it's like a preference that you want that to happen, or that you think it'll happen. But that's a weird one to me. That one took me a while to get behind. And then lastly is, what is it? It's Raz, or Riz. Yeah, Riz. It's like, yeah, VTice has no Riz whatsoever, which Riz is essentially like your ability to spit game to the opposite sex. So you'd be like, yeah, I mean, no one, like, people like got into a debate in my chat like a week or two ago regarding who has more Riz. And I was just sitting there trying to figure it out. I thought for the longest time it was Raz. That's why I got mistaken there. And I thought it was short for like Razzle Dazzle. I was like, there's no way that the kids these days are picking up Razzle Dazzle. And if you did and you went from Raz off of that, I'd almost respect it, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, I couldn't see a world where it's just like, yeah, he's got serious Razzle Dazzle, man. The ladies just, they can't say no to his Razzle Dazzle. That was probably for the best. So Riz is better than Raz. I will give you that. I will give you that. We used to say, I had a roommate in college, and his go-to, which he was like saying the exact same thing, his was always like, yeah, I got a nice mouthpiece. He'd be like, yeah, I gotta put the mouthpiece in tonight. Which just meant his ability to like spit game and like have Riz, essentially. But that's always what he would say was, yeah, you should have saw the mouthpiece I had in last night. Or something like that, which is an equally ridiculous one. I will give you that. For the record, I don't use mouthpiece, and I never did. I was too white, and I think he let me know that, too. So, he was one. He probably did light skin stare before that was even a meme online, to be perfectly honest with you. That's besides the point, though. So yeah, I would give you this. Riz is better than Razzle Dazzle, and it is also better than Mouthpiece. So I will give you guys a win for that one. And I can't talk too much trash, because me and my best friend back home, / my agent, / my manager, we kind of have our own lingo too. And a lot of people have made fun of me for it on stream, which is... there's a couple of different ones that I've said. Probably the one that gets the biggest reaction is... if we're like having a debate and we don't know the answer, like a question we're like asking when we're talking, he always be like, yeah, put a slap on it. And what that is short for is a Google slap, which I believe his dad pulled. His dad just said it randomly one day and we just picked it up and ran with it. But yeah, so he'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna put a Google slap on it and figure this out. Which just means like a Google search. So it's just like, yeah, if we're like debating, I don't know. What's the Buffalo Bills record this year? I don't know, put a slap on it. So I just Google slap it right there. So I just Google search it. So that's a weird one too. I'm sure there's a ton of them aren't coming to mind right now. But that was probably the most well known that everyone makes fun of us for. Like if I'm not thinking about it, I'm like talking to someone who's not him, and I say that, I'm just like, yeah, put a slap on it and see. They're always just like, put a what on it? So I will admit, I have my own weird ones too, so I won't judge you guys too much. But that Ion one bothers me, for the record. The Ion one I don't agree with. I don't really see you guys put it in chat too much, though, as I think about it. Now you guys probably will, just to make me mad, which will work. I'll give you that. That one will piss me off a little bit. That's the one I just don't get it. I just don't get it, so. Lastly, the last thing I gotta bring up, and I don't get it, and I don't know where it came from. I don't understand why everyone's dunking on Ohio. We're not even the worst state, and it's not even close. We're better than a lot of states. We're top 25 easy. Maybe not much more than that, but we're top 25 easy. Easy. I'll die on that hill. I mean, we'd have to like do like a ranking or like a tier list or something. We could do that as states tier list. We've been enjoying the tier list lately. That'd be a good one to do. We have a lot to offer, though. For the longest time, we had Cedar Point, which is the #1 amusement park in the world. Oh, I don't know. LeBron James, Steph Curry was born in Ohio. VTice was born in Ohio. Joe Burrow, mentioned him earlier. Ohio has plenty to offer. Ohio's like in the top 3 or 5 with like the most presidents that came from our state, too, by the way. So, again, I don't get it. I don't know what we did to anybody. We were just over there minding our own business, and then everyone just started dunking on us out of nowhere, and I don't appreciate it whatsoever. I don't get it. I don't know why. Then everyone says those stupid song lyrics, down in Ohio, swag like Ohio. Don't understand that either. My question is, was it the song? Is that artist, is he from Ohio originally, and he thought that was going to be like the next jam, and like people were going to think Ohio's sweet, and then we just became a meme because of it? Is that what started it? I'm actually curious. Let's find out. Oh, by the way, if anyone can solve this, every time I watch a video, this shows up in my search box, and I don't know why. So I have to always, like, if I don't delete them for a while, I have so many to go through. But it's like every video I watch, that oldest French nun dies. All right, we might have to read about that later, but we'll see about that. Why does one... Yeah, there was. Hate Ohio. Yeah, why does everyone hate Ohio? I don't know what a good... Let's see what Reddit has to say here. Why people hate Ohio that much? I'm Italian. I've never been to the United States, but I've read several times hate comments about this state, and I was wondering why. Valid question! Who is this? Lori, 7403. Valid question. You're asking the hard-hitting questions here. Okay. I was born in the butt of every joke. Oh, I'm not gonna read. Oh, okay. He was born in Youngstown. Youngstown sucks. I will give you guys that. Youngstown's trash. Poverty is insane there. That's true. There's a decent amount of poverty in Ohio. I'll give people that. That doesn't make us a meme, though. There's poverty everywhere. The drugs on the north side of Alliance are very real, along with small spurts of violence. Well, okay, well, we don't care about these smaller cities. Yeah, I mean, Cleveland's a lot better than people give it for. Columbus is just like a booming city. I'm pretty sure Facebook is putting their headquarters there. They chose us over like Austin. Maybe it was Amazon. It was one or the other, though. I'm not going to read the entire discussion, but Ohio has a lot to offer. And by the way, we have like the best college football team in the entire country outside of 2 or 3 teams. What's that Ohio song? Ohio song meme. See, the first can't even fly a plane in Ohio, dog. Alright, we have the Golden Gate Bridge, so there's San Francisco, so why are you making fun of us? I don't even know what that means. I'm not gonna play this song, because that song's trash. But I just don't understand. Oh, here we go. Know your meme. Perfect! This website was created for people like me. Is a hip-hop song by rapper Lil B featuring lyrics about being in the state of Ohio. Yeah. Oh, God, it's 23 years old. 22 years old. Song was originally posted to MySpace. Who remembers MySpace? My old crew out there. Let's go. September 2010. It went viral on TikTok around August of 2022. Alongside the Only in Ohio meme, in which users post scary or weird footage of creatures and bizarre situations, claiming it's footage from Ohio. Yeah, but it never is half the darn time. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have clicked on that website, actually. It was virus-ridden. I just don't understand what we did to anybody. So this guy posted a song. So he wanted that song to be sick. He thought he was going to be like the anthem of the state, and instead he turned us all into a meme. So here's the one that I remember. This one goes back a little bit further. I remember this one like with the astronauts. I never got this joke either. This one was older than since the Swag in Ohio one came out. The wait, it's all Ohio, always has been. I don't understand it either, to be perfectly honest with you. I really don't get where it came from. I appreciate this Know Your Meme website. That's kind of nice. I don't know. I don't know. Again, there's like a big it's just like the state of Ohio there. It doesn't bother me as much today as it did when it first happened, but man, does it suck. I'm just trying to show off, hey, back home, that's where the homies are. I like being from Ohio. I'm proud to be from Ohio. I never knew it was going to become this meme where everyone dunks on it. Half the people were just like, well, are you actually from, so is Ohio actually a place? Every single time I'm just like, yes, we're humans and we live in Ohio. Yeah, what's the big idea? I don't understand why it's so funny. But there's my rant for the night regarding that one. So, if someone can explain to me what we did to anybody to deserve it, and it's like Yugi's my dude, obviously. Same with Coach. But it's like if I piss him off, if I say something they don't like and they want to get back at me or something, they'll just be like, yeah, so he is from Ohio after all, huh? It's just like that. And that's like all they have to say. Then everyone that was on my side is now on theirs, and that's just the end of it. That's the end of the argument. Like apparently that's just like dropping the mic. Is you just say they're from Ohio and then you just lost. Like if somebody says that to you. So I don't really care for that one either, but maybe one day I'll understand. Maybe if I wasn't from Ohio, I would appreciate it and get it more. I'll give you that. If I wasn't from Ohio, like Cameron Gaming is from Nebraska, and nobody makes it. Nebraska's way worse than Ohio. Nebraska's like bottom 10 of the states, guaranteed. We're better than West Virginia. We're better than, like what's South Dakota? Nobody ever gasses up South Dakota. Ohio's better than South Dakota. Easily. Idaho, we're better than. Easily better than Idaho. Idaho has the Rockies, though. They have the Rocky Mountains still. So maybe I'd give Ohio or Idaho the lean there. I could find a lot of things. We're better than Michigan, easy. Oh, the fishing in northern Michigan's very nice. I do enjoy that up there. That's a good time. But all their fans are all just a bunch of asshats for the Wolverine fans, that is. And they had the Lions, who are worse than the Browns, for the record. Maybe not this year, but Historically, they're worse than the Browns. Easily. All right, I shouldn't have started figuring out what states were better than off the top of my head because it's going to take me some time. Better than Kansas. Better than Nebraska, easily. Way better than Kansas, easily. We're better than Missouri. I could argue we're better than like Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. We're better than Arkansas. When is the last time anyone ever went to Arkansas for anything ever? They don't even have any pro teams in those southern states. I guess Louisiana has the Saints and the Pelicans, but that's besides the point. You guys know what I mean. We're better than those states. Texas is better. Cali's better. Florida's better. Yeah, maybe about it. We may be number 4. Colorado's better. Maybe number 5. We're top 5. Easy. See right there. Okay. I have no other topics for you guys. We're around an hour here. I'll have to trim a little of the fat off from before I started, as well as when I went to go get my DoorDash. But yeah, so in closing, this was kind of podcast number 1. I'm not thrilled about it. I don't love necessarily how the first one came out, but I was telling Lady Yugi, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I originally recorded the first podcast episode. I can get into future episodes more about kind of like the backstory and kind of my YouTube journey. I don't think I talked too much about that with Yugs, and I certainly did in this one, so maybe we can save that for the next solo podcast episode. But I recorded the first one originally, and when I did it, so the original scope, or not scope, but what I was originally going to do during the podcast was, because it is kind of gamer-centric, gamer-oriented, if you will, content creation in the world of gaming, but I hope we can make it applicable to people that aren't just strictly gaming content creators as well. But when I originally did it, when I was thinking of the idea, the concept and the idea of the podcast was, so if I have Yugi601, Coach 4-Star Cameron Gaming, whoever, Super Rocker on, as a guest, we'd be having the episode, I'd be asking them questions while we're playing 1v1 or together on a game. And then I was going to just play whatever game I could while I do the solo podcast, and I do it at the exact same time. The issue is there's just no way. I can't do it. I tried recording the first episode, and it went horribly. It's talking about the uhs and the ums and getting sidetracked, breaking rule number 1, talking about the gameplay the entire time. I don't have the ability to think at the same time that I'm playing. I can't chew gum and walk at the same time either. So that's why I have to pre-record them, then I talk over them, if that makes sense. So I'd love to do that at some point, but there's just no way. There's no way. I can't. I by no means can't handle it, because there's one of two things. Either I stand AFK in whatever game I'm playing and I talk, or I play the game. I can't do the podcast topics at the same time. I just don't have the ability to focus on the two different things at once. So this will probably be how we do it. Let me know what you think of it, though, because, at some point people may not like having the gameplay up there at the exact same time. You guys may prefer it to be just, toss some music on and do like a full screen of just me and then whoever the guest is that's on or something. And we'll figure that out as we go in due time. Like I said, this is certainly not a finished product by any means. Like I said, I'm not thrilled about this first podcast, but it is late. I had to get it in, had to get it uploaded to you guys as soon as possible. So I'm hoping to have this up tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to have time to render it and everything tonight and make the edits, but maybe if I can get up tomorrow morning and render it and all that good stuff and get it uploaded, I can get it to you guys by a decent time tomorrow. If not, definitely Saturday for sure. And then the next one, we'll see. Maybe I'll go Wednesday the following week, but we'll figure that out down the road. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being in here. I really do appreciate it, man. It really does mean a lot to me, especially if you made it all the way to the end. Because like I said, this was kind of a random one, just random topics, I suppose. So, but I hope you did enjoy it. Hope the gameplay was okay. Yeah, I broke rule number 1 again. Can't talk about the gameplay. I keep breaking that. I'm going to try to get better about that. Like I said, certainly not a finished product. We are very early. I'm still learning this whole thing. And please, the best thing for me for learning and making better episodes is let me know what you guys want me to talk about. Hey, VTice, I couldn't care less about you rant about random topics. Keep it to content creation. That's fine too. That's also fine as well. My issue with that is I just thought it would get maybe a little bit repetitive if I only did content creation topics. And I think the podcast, what's kind of cool and unique and gives us an opportunity to talk about random things we always don't get to, right? different thoughts on the playoffs going on right now. I can go on a random rant, which is kind of funny for us to have that back and forth. I can uninterruptedly share you my thoughts regarding how much I dislike, how much you guys hate on Ohio and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see where it goes. We'll see. So please give me your feedback. VTice didn't care for this episode, didn't care for this podcast one. I didn't like X, Y, Z. Hey, I really liked this. Maybe focus on this, do this more. The best content we can have, though, is whatever interaction we can have, which is you guys submitting. And I will give you guys credit. If you come up with any fun topics to do, I can do tier lists on here, different things of that. I mean, the possibilities are really endless for us to talk about. There's really not much I won't go into, with the exception of I try to keep this channel away from money, religion, politics is really the only thing that I don't love talking about. And then also just like super personal information. So, if you were to ask me for my name and address, I probably won't share that one. But other than that, mostly everything's fair game. You've had a fun one with the animals versus, or what animal could you beat in a fight? Different things that can be silly, but if you have legitimate questions about content creation, I will do my best. I'm certainly have not cracked the code and figured it all out, but I'd like to. I'd like to try to help you guys out in whatever way that I can. So it's a way for me to get a VOD up once a week, which I know a lot of people have been asking for. This is the best way for me to do it right now, just with the super busy schedule. Very low editing, very easy to do. I can sit in front of a camera and just rant about whatever, or find out topics that you guys want to know, answer questions, things like that. I am rambling, so I will stop. I will leave you guys alone. Please let me know what you think, though. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. Thank you so much for all of your continued support. I do not deserve it whatsoever, but I very, very much appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed podcast number 2. Hope you come back for number 3. I'm setting up dates right now. Coach 4-Star is on deck. He is next man up. I don't know if the next one will be a solo or if it'll be with Coach. I got to reach out to him and see what his schedule looks like. Cameron Gaming in the Wayne Super Rocker, I got a yes from as well. So also, that's another good one. Please let me know any other creators you'd like for me to have on. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think that pretty much sums it all up. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. Maybe this is your new sound when you go to sleep. The second you start talking VTice about anything you find insightful and helpful, it puts me to bed. There you go. Insomnia cured. But no, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I do not deserve it, but I very much appreciate it. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you all on stream soon, which I'm super excited for. But once again, seriously, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.